Part 7 of the Hellcat build will be the tail wheel. You have the mounting bracket, the tail wheel, the control arm for the servo, the steering, push rod, cover. First step will be to mount the mounting bracket to the plane with 4 screws. Then the steering arm will be mounted to or connected to the push rod inserted into the hole here. Steering arm will then be placed in the bracket. Steering arm will be, or the steering tail wheel wire will be placed in the bracket and secured. So let's get the mounting bracket mounted to the plane. All right, first step will be the mounting bracket. Attaching this to the plane, line up the screw to the pre-drilled holes or marks. I won't securely tighten all these yet until I have all the screws in place. I get them more screwed in. I won't tighten them all the way yet until I get the steering arm inserted. Have the control arm. Want to make sure this is facing outwards for the set screw. So I will get this on the control arm or the push rod. Insert this into the hole and push it in. Get the tail wheel rod itself. Place this in. To have the tail wheel rod inserted. So there is a little notch, a flat spot here where the set screw for the steering arm will go. It's just about all the way down. Let me tighten this set screw. I'm not sure. I want to give it enough play where it will turn. So it's fully one way, far and the other way. So it's looking like halfway will be right in here somewhere. I'll tighten it there. All right, I think that's good there. Next, we'll put the wheel onto the rod and the wheel collar, hold it in place. Even enough slack so it doesn't rub too much up here on the was going to see about putting a washer in between the wheel and the rod, but all the washers I had were a little bit larger, so they just kept sliding down the rod. But we'll just leave enough slack or enough space in between the collar and the wheel so it freely turns. There's not too much play left or right. So we'll tighten this up. And we have the wheel in place. Next step will be the wheel cover. We'll have to cut a notch in the front here, and it takes 6 screws, 3 on each side, to hold it in place. Alright, to mark the front top of the wheel cover, I will slide it from the back here and make a mark. We'll do a little at a time as not to cut so much off. I think I will get my Dremel and cut a little notch. I should have something I can use to cut a notch in that. I do have a little cutter bit. And basically, it is more melted than anything. A little bit at a time. Do a test fit. Actually, I think the wheel got the little spring here. It's kind of low, so let me raise this up a little bit. Maybe a little bit more deeper, and then the sides towards me a little bit more. Alright, I think that will do it. It's all the way forward. The back of the cover is flush with the back of the fuselage. And I think that's good. I think I'll readjust the steering arm. Looks like it pulls more one way than the other. I did some fine tuning, some adjustments to the steering arm and the height of the tail rod here, the spring area. This fits a little bit better. I had to cut a little bit more back. This fits a little bit more better now. What I will do now, get it to where I want it, and I'll put some tape on either side to hold it in place, and it calls to drill 3 1mm holes on either side. I have painter's tape holding this on for the most part. I will start with the front. As I drill, we'll hold this down and up in the corner. Quick and easy. Take the screw this in. I'll do the other side to get the front secured. I got the other front corner drilled. Let me get the screws in place. Then I will drill the remainder 4 screws and get this mounted. I have the tail wheel cover installed. I had the 3 screws on each side. Any adjustments to the steering I should be able to do on the servo side. It does pull or turn more one way than the other, but with the flat part on the rod here where the set screw for the steering arm goes, it kind of made it difficult to get it where I wanted it. But if I have to make adjustments, I will have to take the cover back off and adjust the steering arm. But we'll play with that when we get the servos installed for the rudder and steering. So this concludes part 7, tail wheel assembly.